I was born in Peru in 1992. When I was around 5, my parents had the opportunity of coming to the United States. And at the age of 6, I also had the opportunity of coming to the United States. In the year 2000, my mom became pregnant. The doctors told us that my baby sister was not developing correctly and she will have disabilities. Despite not being part of any church, my parents turned to God and asked for a miracle. On May 5th, 2001, my mom gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and we named her Milagros. 18 years after her birth, I had the privilege of seeing my baby sister graduate. Around the year 2009, my uncle introduced us to the Adventist Church. At first, we were not interested. Eventually, we realized that giving our lives to Christ was the least we could do for everything that God had done for us. On December 12th, 2009, my family and I were baptized. For years, we were very active in the church. Our biggest blessing, having our own Hogar Iglesia every Tuesday. Unfortunately, a few months after being baptized, my mom was in a car accident. The person that caused the accident fled, and my mom was taken to the hospital. She complained that she had a discomfort in her throat, so she had some x-rays done. The x-rays revealed something in her kidney. The doctor said it was probably nothing, but recommended further testing. My dad and I told her it was nothing and to not worry about it. My mom was tested again, and this time they noticed the mass in her kidney was growing, and so surgery was necessary. The cost of the operation, more than $100,000. I began to see my life as forever being in debt in order to pay off that bill. My mom took her test to her boss, a doctor that she babysat for at the time, and she ordered more testing for my mom. Her boss told my mom that she was going to be operated at her hospital and the operation was going to cost absolutely nothing. My mom was operated, and by the grace of God, she was saved. Unfortunately, around 2015, we lost our home and we moved into an apartment for the next 2 years. During this time was when I received the call to study theology and teach at the church, and eventually, if God allows me, at a school. We were satisfied with the lives that we had, but then our lives completely changed. For reasons that are very complicated and very personal to explain, my dad decided to move back to Peru. In order to save money, my mom, sister, and I moved into a basement. While we were blessed to have somewhere to sleep, this basement was very small and at times uncomfortable. One day, I told my mom that I had gotten used to the basement and I could see ourselves staying there for many years in order to save money. That's when my mom told me that she was unhappy and that she wanted a house. It was at that moment that I told her something that I will forever remember and regret. I told her, "A house? We are a family of immigrants. We cannot have a house. We are a family of 3. We don't need a house." She told me she wanted a house, and so I told her, "Fine. If you want a house, pray for one." Well, that may sound nice. I did not join in that prayer because I did not think that God could give us a house. My mom prayed and would look online for houses that we could rent. But because we were undocumented, people were very doubtful and hesitant to rent us their home. At the time, my mom was already babysitting for a completely different family. My mom became a bit desperate, so she asked her boss if she could rent a house using her name and allow us to live in that house. Her boss talked to her husband, and the next day, they told my mom that they would not be renting a house. Instead, they were going to buy a second home and rent it to us at an affordable price. Our undocumented status did not matter. No need for background check, no security deposit, nothing. Simply, here are the keys and enjoy the house. And this is the house that we've been enjoying for more than 2 years now. So here's a quick look for those of you who have not been to my house yet. So if you can see, my house is very small. We have the living room here where we watch television, where we relax, where I take naps. Our dining room is right there, very small. And this way, you're gonna find our kitchen. And right now, my mom is cooking my favorite food for my birthday, which is arroz chaufa y causa. Mami, saluda a los
Hola, ¿cómo
jóvenes.
está? Hi, how are you?
So,
Made it too?
so that's the best food in Peru, guys. Arroz chaufa and causa. And we have cheesecake too. Cheesecake. I love cheesecake. So, I simply wanted you guys to understand why sometimes I find it hard to sin. I come home to a house that God has given to me. I work at a place that God has given to me. I go to school because God has given me an education. I go to church where it's difficult to sin at church. Everywhere that I go, God is there, which is why it's so difficult for me to sin. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but that's the truth. We have to create an environment in which it makes it difficult for us to sin. One of the biggest blessings that I've received in my life has been working with you guys as your youth pastor. That position completely changed my life because maybe some of you guys have never realized, but I'm kind of an introvert when it comes to talking in public. It's very difficult to me because I was always the person that was quiet in class. I never raised my hand, I never participated. Some of you guys might have noticed the particular title that I chosen for this video. I don't want you guys to misunderstand it. I don't want you guys to misinterpret it. The reason why I chose this title is because it's the truth. Under the formality of the church, I work with you guys as your youth pastor. But I've told this to pastor, I've told this to some of the ancianos, I've told this to many people. My goal was never to arrive to these churches and be your youth pastor. My goal has always been to simply be your friend. Someone that you can tell your stories to, someone that you can laugh with, someone that's always there for you, someone that can do favors for you. That's always been my goal. Now, I know it's kind of difficult to force friendships. You can't just go to a person and say, hey, you're my friend now, or hey, you're my best friend now. See, it takes time for friendships to form. And with some of you guys, I've formed stronger friendships than with others. And I understand this because my teaching style, some of you like it, some of you are okay with it, maybe some of you don't even like it at all. But don't misinterpret the title of this video. For the church, yes, I am your youth pastor, but my goal has always been to simply be your friend. A friend that wants to share with you guys that it is completely possible to have fun while you're giving your life to Jesus. I've shared with you guys that I've made many mistakes in the past. Mistakes that when I look back, it's very difficult to believe that the mistakes and the sins that I've made in the past have led me to this type of life that I have right now. Both of these churches have given me big blessings. I've often wondered why God sent me to Silver Spring in particular. And this question was answered for me around 9 months ago. And it's because in Silver Spring, I found my partner, and she's actually recording this right now.
Hola.
And as you guys know, or may not know, I had to put a ring on it. So that's just FYI. Many times I've asked myself if I truly care. See, this is something that has to be ingrained in all pastors or youth pastors. If you truly care about the people that you're pastoring for. This is a question that I've had to deal with. This is a question that I've often wondered about. And the answer was given to me, and I'm very sure to say that yes, I do care. And the reason why I say this is because, and I hope you guys take this as a genuine answer, every sermon that I listen to, every Bible study that I do, every verse that I learn about, my first instinct has always been, how can I turn this into a relatable topic for my youth group? Every time I've listened to a good message, every time I've listened or heard of a new verse, my first instinct is, let me turn this into a message for my youth group, because I care about the life that you guys are leading. Now, I know it's difficult to care about 30, 40 different youth people that I deal with. No one's perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still going to graduate next year. And even after I graduate, I'm still going to keep learning. Even if God allows me to be a pastor in different churches, I'm still going to be learning. So I appreciate the opportunity that you guys have given me over these years to let me into your group, to learn from you guys. I've told you this many times, not because I'm the pastor or the teacher means I'm always teaching you guys. There has been many times in Sabbath school or in small groups where you guys have taught me different things, where you guys have asked me questions that have later forced me to go home and research, because you guys have a different perspective than I do. So, in conclusion, to not make this video too long, my purpose, my goal was never to be your youth pastor. My goal was simply to be your friend, and I hope that over the months, over the years, this can be accomplished. My hope has always been that you guys can come to me and share things with me, whether they're private things or public things, to just talk to me. And in the same way, I can share things with you. I know that we're going to be in each other's life for a long time. My goal, in case you didn't know, is to stay local. My goal is to stay here because this is where I've grown up. So hopefully we'll know each other for a very, very long time if you guys don't go somewhere else. God bless to you all, and I hope that we'll be seeing each other real soon. Bye-bye.